Very good then. Does, does anyone have any announcements before we call this meeting to order? All right, so we have nothing to discuss coming out of the closed meeting? No, that's fine. Mr. Mayor, I presume there's nothing to be added on to the agenda? Well, we'll determine that. Well, be it resolved that the closed meeting session be adjourned so that we might return to the regular meeting of Town Council. Fine. All those in favor? Carried then. We resolved to hire 2 individuals at their daycare centers and 1 at community services. So I believe that you all have your information sheets for tonight's meeting, your information documents. Fine. All right then. I believe there is an item to be added on to item 5. Fine. Yes, we've dealt with the hiring of a coordinator of cultural and community activities. I can read the resolution to make things easier. Fine. So with regard to the first resolution, maybe mention it very quickly. Yes, we've hired 2 individuals, a coordinator of cultural and community activities, and we also hired a temporary early childhood educator. Now, the first one, be it resolved that Town Council accept the hiring of Mr. Martin Irwin as coordinator of cultural and community events on a full-time basis, effective as of the 4th of April 2016, and this one be subject to a probationary period of 6 months, and be it resolved that his salary be established at level 1, class 1 of the salary grid of union employees, as recommended. Moved by Councillor Simard and seconded by Councillor Simoneau. Right? That's fine. Can I withdraw from further discussions? Well, really? No. We've just adopted this resolution. Second. All those in favor, by the way, folks. All those in favor. Okay, fine. Let's go on to the second resolution. Yes. So the second resolution reads as follows. Be it resolved that Town Council hires Mr. Joshua Bonville as a full-time but temporary early childhood educator. Employment ending 6th of October 2016, and that his salary be established at level 1 of the salary grid of unionized employees as recommended. Level 1, grid 1. Moved by Councillor Lalonde Jr. and seconded by Councillor Lalonde Sr. Both. Fine then. We just like to call for a vote. All those in favor of the hiring of a full-time early childhood educator for a temporary period of time. Fine. Carried. You can come back to the chair, to your council chair now, Mr. Simoneau, if you wish to. No problem. All right, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. Announcements. Do any of you care to make any announcements? Mrs. Collier? I would like to introduce to council formally and to the public Jean-Yves Carrière, who is going to carry the load that Mr. Darch has left behind. I believe he will be starting with us this week to help us with that load. I would like to again present Mr. Jean-Yves Carrière to you, who is starting to work for us as Director of Land Planning and Infrastructure. Welcome, Mr. Carrière. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and good evening to all. Any announcements? Yes, Mr. Mayor. I believe that this coming Thursday we'll be meeting the Mayor of Ottawa with regards to the widening of 174 on the Highway 17. I've received the details with regards to construction costs. We're talking about a $450 million project now. The town of Ottawa will be bearing $343 million, 107 million, Prescott and Russell. The split at Saint Laurent, 155, and roadways running up to Canaan, 141. And the interchange, the French term is échangeur. The trim is $47 million, a grand total of $450 million. Now, we'll be talking about when we can start work, and are we performing this work on a phase-in basis. I concluded it was a very worthwhile announcement, positive announcement. It was part and parcel of the budget, of the provincial budget. So as I said earlier on, we see a tad bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Any other announcements? Councillor Lalonde? Technology is unbelievable, isn't it? So I just have an announcement to make on behalf of Mrs. Choignard because she's not here tonight. There's a wine and cheese event at the Community Center in Bourget, 19 Leving Street, on the 17th of April next at 7 p.m. It's organized by the Bourget Recreational Committee. Mrs. Choignard wished to invite all members of Town Council to attend this event. That's the first announcement. The second announcement involves the family tournament in Clarence Creek that is organized by the Optimist Club here in Clarence Creek. There are 18 teams, 18 family teams this year that will be participating in 4 divisions. It's going to start on Thursday, the 31st of March, and it's going to end on Sunday, the 3rd of March. It's a never-growing tournament each and every year. It's an ever-evolving tournament, so good luck to all families involved in the competition. Good luck then. Councillor Simoneau? I'd just like to make people aware that there'll be a hearing with regards to the Mountain View development, and if I Saint-Joseph during that same evening, 6 o'clock for members of Town Council, 7:30 p.m. at the Optimists Hall. With regards to the St. Joseph project at the Optimist Club on the 30th of March at 7 p.m. It's an open meeting, so everyone involved is, of course, invited to attend. I just wanted to state that last week, with regards to the March break activities that were ongoing then, we greeted 408 children that made use of the pool facilities in the afternoon at our recreational sportsplex. Now, there are 180 children in Clarence Creek that attended the Clarence Creek facilities and 110 children that made use of our Rockland Arena. So it keeps the children busy. We did the same thing during the Christmas time. We tried to offer bus service during the Christmas time, and that didn't work. So we eliminated the bus service because this was unnecessary. This was tantamount to unnecessary expenditures. We had access to the pool facilities for a period of 2 years this time around. We ran short of lifeguard monitors to oversee pool activities, so that's why we only ran it for a period of 2 days. I just want to make people aware that Town Hall will be closed this coming Friday and this coming Monday because of Easter holidays. Public Works for emergencies, 613-248-9809. Bylaw enforcement, 613-248-9826. I'd just like to say again, and reiterate, that City Hall will be closed on Friday and Monday. For Easter holidays, of course, and for Public Works, we have an emergency number of 613-248-9809, and for bylaw, 613-248-9826. Thank you very much. So, let's go on now to question period. Does anyone in attendance have any questions of Town Council? No questions? Thank you then. Thank you. Let's continue on with our agenda. Councillor Simard, item 9. Well, should I read the resolution? Whereas Mrs. Lise Garabel submitted an application on March 17, 2016 to renovate the building located at 2444, Unit 8, County Road 17, Clarence, Rockland, in order to open a restaurant. And whereas during the reservations, the lady wishes to operate this restaurant via a temporary refreshment vehicle, and whereas City Bylaw 2007-38, which regulated business licenses for the operation of refreshment vehicles, are very strict in regards to the location of the refreshment vehicle within different sectors of the city, and whereas the insurance and licenses for refreshment vehicles is not permitted in rural areas, be it resolved that Municipal Council exceptionally authorizes that a temporary license for refreshment vehicles be granted to Mrs. Lise Gravel until May 15, 2016, subject to Mrs. Gravel's application meeting all other requirements stipulated in Bylaw 2017-38, 2007-238, and be it resolved that the price of the license be fixed at $125. I'd just like to specify that there is a bylaw specifying that there are limits imposed within the village, the confines of the village, but this particular venue is not located within the confines of the village. Am I stating this properly, Mrs. Ouellette? Yes, you are, Mr. Mayor. So seconded by Councillor Simoneau. Yes, Councillor Simoneau. All those in favor? Carried then, thank you. Fine. Yes, we voted upon this now. Let's go on now to consent items. Are there any items that you wish to withdraw from the usual list? Well, 10.3 sub E, please. Any others? 10.3 sub D. And 10.3 sub H. Very good then. If someone would care to read out the consent items to be agreed and voted upon. All items listed in this section of the agenda will be subject to approval under one debatable non-amendable motion. Adoption of the minutes of the following meeting, regular meeting of March 7, 2016. Also, receipts of the minutes of the following meetings. Accessibility Advisory Committee of October the 27th, 2015, Accessibility Advisory Committee of January the 26th, 2016, and Planning Committee of February the 3rd, 2016. The following items as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. A, to authorize a sponsorship of $2,500 to the All-Ontario Bantam AAA Championship. B, to authorize a sponsorship of $2,500 to the Richelieu Club of Rockland for their 50th anniversary. C, to proclaim April 2nd as World Autism Awareness Day, I believe. Yes. World Autism Awareness Day. To authorize the conversion of hard surface roads to gravel roads of the identified sections on Labelle Road and St. Felix Road, and to authorize the installation of a 2-meter high fence at 3555 Drouin Road. To accept that Valoris for Children and Adults of Prescott Russell use the Chamberlain Centre at no charge, and to authorize the Community Services and the Canadian Hockey International Hockey to rent the ice at a rate of $175 per hour for a major hockey tournament organized by Canland Classic on October 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2016, and adoption of the salaries paid from January 31st, 2016 to February the 27th, 2016 in the gross amount of $868,703.23 and net amount of $628,614.33. Seconded by? Yes, thank you. So we'll now deliberate with those items that have been withheld. And Mrs. Simard seconds. All those in favor? Carried. Let's revisit now items that were withdrawn for further discussion. Item D. Whereas February 18, 2016, the Ministry of the Environment delivered a report stemming from a provincial agency and an order stemming from a provincial agency concerning the requirements to develop a closing plan with regard to the Notre Dame landfill site and a management plan with regards to the Canon Street, with regards to storm water. And whereas the Infrastructure and Land Planning Committee, in its report Info 2016-12, identified two options that were able to meet the requirements of the particular order, and whereas the Committee of the Whole recommends to choose option 2, being the implementation by stages that will allow us to perform follow-up of the landfill for a 12-month period commencing in May 2016. Be it resolved that Town Council approve that personnel submit, or staff submit to the Ministry an implementation plan as described in option 2, Info 2016-12, that allows to set up a systematic monitoring plan running for a 12-month period to determine the measures to be implemented to cater to the requirements concerning surface water, subsurface water, and gas emanation stemming from the landfill site in order to meet with the requirements set out by the provincial government, issued on February the 12th, 2016, allowing the closing of the landfill and Caron Street area with regards to the dissemination of storm or storm or sewer system water. The reason that I asked that this be discussed separately is that this involves this is a serious undertaking, Mr. Mayor, and when meetings and discussions that I entered into gave rise to further discussions, I'm asking that the town's engineer be mandated to give us a report each and every month of steps to be followed and taken. Mr. Carrière? I know this is something that you've been looking at for quite a while now. I know that we're looking at this. I know this is one of the this has a bearing to a ditch that you wanted to work on right away. Well, option number 2, the 2016 works that you've identified, would be the monitoring, but also one of the major concerns that the Ministry of the Environment wants to see a control runoff from the Caron Street venue, you see. So that was one of the reasons that we wanted to accelerate this report coming forward to committee and council so that we can get this channel constructed as quickly as possible. The ministry is fine with that. They are looking for an undertaking from the city that we will ultimately build upon, but I think that this is something that can take place either in 2017 or 2018. Well, the reason I'm asking this, Mr. Mayor, is the fact that after reading the report, after reading it, it could become very, very costly to do what was mentioned in the report. As high as $3 million, actually. As high as $3 million, over $3 million, over $3 million. But in this case, I'd like to get our engineer to forward a report at every second monthly meeting concerning the work that has been done and where we stand at on a gradual basis. Would there be a chance that we would impact the flood area? I think there was some discussion at the last meeting of the feasibility going into the provincially significant wetlands, and the answer that staff gave at that time is that we were going to look at all options. The cost that I've included in the report would not necessarily, well, use those as a final cost. It's just an order of magnitude. We want to explore all options with respect to the stormwater pond to see if we can minimize those costs. I know at one point in time that there was an estimate out there of the $3 million you've made reference to, and I believe that was dealt by taking all of the landfill material out. We're not suggesting that. But did we not get approval that this dump was okay and that they were going to build, let's say, a soccer field on top of it? I think we started to go down that path. I don't think that, but we didn't formally develop a closure plan, and that's what the ministry is on to us about this now. They want a formal closure plan for the land-built facility and deal with the uncontrolled stormwater runoff. Well, Mr. Mayor, once again, when we're talking about wetlands, that landfill site was located in the wetlands area, and that's why I keep saying let's have a close look on the east side of the pumping station because it is wetland and really wetland that has less water than the west side of Coram Street. And that's why, I have to tell you though, that I always very much appreciate all of the reports that you've given us because it gives us the opportunity to study it a little deeper. Well, if I can give council any comfort, we're going to look at any options and all options, and with a view of implementing the cheapest option that satisfies the Ministry of the Environment. We'll look at any, does it go into professionally significant wetlands on the east side of Cado, or do we modify the design on the west side? But we'll look at all options and see. I think that we can't lose sight to see if the province has issued an order. We have to take some action. It's very important tonight that we approve one of the options. We'll get things organized, of course, and it keeps the ministry quiet, letting them know that we are doing something. Councillor Zant? Well, I believe that I agree with you there, Mr. Mayor. Well, the only thing that I would like to emphasize, and I think I said this at the last meeting, is that we've had extensive discussions with the Ministry of the Environment, their district engineer, and they're quite supportive of that report and the direction we're taking right now. Councillor Simoneau? Just to reiterate what Mr. Lalonde was mentioning, what he really wants, and I do agree with this, is that we be forwarded a report every second meeting or not, or second meeting. We should be afforded special attention by staff with regards to this, as this is a very touchy, and from a dollar-wise standpoint, it might be costly. It's a significant issue, and there is one that's going to involve all members of council. If council wants a status report, it's more than fair. Well, it won't take us long to find out where where the problems lie. Well, that's right. It's a pay-as-you-go thing, right? So we want to know what we're into, what we're getting into. All those in favor then? Carried. Thank you. So, so again, with the stipulation that it would be forwarded a monthly report. Yes, that's fine. There's another item that was withdrawn. Yes, that a report also be handed each and every second month. No, not each and every second month. Each and every second meeting of every month. So once a month. That gives us the opportunity to be made well aware as to what's going on. Item E, Councillor Simoneau. Whereas in 2015, Town Council approved a new waste collection and recycling contract with Tomlinson to collect residual and yard waste as of November, and whereas this new leaf and garden waste collection will allow residents to be afforded proper collection of garden waste and leaves, and whereas Town Council had certain reserves during the approval process in allowing the contract to be proceeded with, and in light of the fact that it could be possible that the collection ratio or the number of collections would not be sufficient, and to compare and whereas the Committee of the Whole recommends to Town Council that the transfer station with regards to leaf and garden waste situated at 700 Industrial Road remain open for the 2016 season on Saturdays only. As a result, be it resolved that Town Council authorize that the transfer and garden waste transfer station located at 700 Industrial Road remain open for the 2016 season only on Saturdays. Only on Saturdays. Seconded by Councillor Lalonde. Any questions or comments? Well, we met people's expectations halfway. Well, the new company started collecting last week, I believe. I think that things are operating rather smoothly, especially for the first week of pickup. So I think we're pleasantly surprised. Well, why with this particular item, why has it been withdrawn from the automatic list of consent item, because I wanted to make use of this, because if we have implemented this resolution, it was a way to advise the population at large that pickup was only performed on Saturdays. Saturdays, to make people doubly aware of that new pickup schedule. So we met people's expectations halfway, being economical in the way in which we go about dealing with such matters. All those in favor? Carried. Item H, Mrs. Simard, to approve the modernization of the existing signs announcing the villages and the city. Whereas the Committee of the Whole recommended to Town Council that existing signs announcing the villages and the city of Rockland be installed. Well, look, when I read the report, I thought that nothing had changed, but now I read the resolution and I've seen that changes were brought. So whereas the Committee of the Whole recommended to Town Council that existing signs located at the extremity of villages and the city be modernized, as a result, be it resolved that Council approve the modernization of existing signage announcing the villages and city, and also be it resolved that the infrastructure and land management services come up with a new design for these particular signs. Seconded by Councillor Zant. Okay, that's fine. Any comments, Councillor Simard? No. I went through everything, all information with regards to this, and now my query has been answered. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to take a few minutes to say this. When Mrs. Simard started to talk, I pressed on my button to have the resolution with regards to this item, and it has not yet opened in front of me. Either we purchase faster moving mouses, mouses, but this new electronic way of doing things doesn't work. Either that, or we're going to have to go back to the old paper route and fell more trees. Well, we're functioning now, tapping into the wireless system, so everybody's trying to access the network at the same time. What we're going to do this week is our IT department is going to install this directly into a T1 line, so we'll go right into the server at the back end for the next council. You will have quicker access. Either that, or Mr. Simoneau will be the victim of a heart attack. People are, you see, we can't access our notes in a timely fashion. I'm telling you, we have either that, or we might have to resort to recycled paper. All right. Well, currently we're making copies of the resolutions to give to you, so they'll be ready in a minute or two. Item 11, 11.1, accounts paid. Accounts paid. Be it resolved that the accounts paid for the period February the 3rd, 2016 to 11th of March, 2016 in the amount of $3,287,619.06 be adopted as presented and as recommended. Seconded by Councillor Simoneau. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Thank you very much. Carried. Bylaws. Item 12, bylaws. Oh, yes, so we've dealt with accounts paid? Fine. I believe item 12.4 was positioned under consent items, and we've just dealt with those. We're on to item 12. So it's because I have problems having notes brought up in a timely fashion. I might have questions. I don't know if could I ask them? Yes, go ahead. Page 9. Note an item with regards to Department 4182-3, smoke detectors at Town Hall for $2,000 or $3,800. Could I have an explanation? Well, our smoke detectors, we're talking about more than 3. We've located a smoke detector in all departments. Smoke detectors are valid for a certain number of years. Now, earlier, we had some problems with some smoke detectors, and we were called upon to replace all smoke detectors because they're all linked together under one system. So we're dealing with more than 3 fire detectors. I believe that an alarm was activated, and all employees were called upon to leave Town Hall. It was a false alarm. So, any other questions? Page 130 and as well as page 144. With regards to lunches, there was one expense item with regards to lunches, and another one with regards to winter control, 144 and 130. When we're talking about lunches, we're talking about lunch. Are we are we talking about lunch paid for people attending meetings held here at the municipality or outside of the town of Rockland? I believe those were meetings held in the municipality. So, see, that's not what I understand. I know that these are not major expenditures, but we're talking about $65 for two individuals and $76.28 also. If these expenditures deal with lunches that are served, we can still at least take 20 minutes and eat our own, home prepared lunches. Well, sir, I believe there are some employees here that are afforded only 1 hour's lunch, 1 hour's worth of lunch, and they go home to eat lunch. I don't know. I have no idea. In any event. Well, you bring your lunch with you when you work. So it's the same. Why are we paying for lunch? Well, if there is a group attending a meeting here, those employees in Rockland will go out to have lunch. And when they arrive here, they have no lunch made available to them. So I believe that La Bonne Bouffe, the catering service, will be opening up at the close by here, and Gabriel certainly will be catering, pardon the pun, to our needs. I know what he means, what they mean by that. You see, if people have to go from one venue to another to have lunch, then it will cost us even more. So lunch is catered to them at the place, locale, or venue at which the meeting is held. But it doesn't happen all that often. Now, I'm not expecting to obtain an answer tonight. I went through this and I consulted Mrs. Bulzik as well as other employees with regards to this particular item. Now, when I take a look at costs relating to Caron Street, and we're up to $760,000 this month. Now, we always say that we have about $1.4 million of expenditures left to be paid. Each and every month I see invoices coming in with regard to the Caron Street project. Could you please make us aware as to where we're at with the Caron Street project? The estimates, the $13.1 million estimate. So I'm looking at $760,000 worth of expenditures that we have to pay exclusively this month. Well, these are withheld amounts of approximately 10% that were withheld for a 6-month period to guarantee that the contractor would. Basically, it's a performance bond. So we took 10%, we stuck it in our pockets in the meantime, and now we're handing it back to the contractor, you see, because the work is coming along, is progressing quite nicely. Is it possible to be given an updated overview as to where we're at? Fine. Councillor Levert, Mr. Boucher, expenditure page 175, Jean-Marc Lalonde Arena. We replaced the refrigerator at a cost of $2,881. Is it for the room located upstairs at the upper floor? Well, the reason we had a refrigerator put in is that the walk-in cooler dating back to the 1970s was completely finished. It was too costly to replace the walk-in cooler, and the commercial refrigerator, if a different vocation is adopted for that particular venue, can be relocated in another one of our community centers. So it was a sizable savings. And it was more advantageous for us to do this. And the canteen downstairs, the non-operational canteen in which there is equipment, we might have made use of that. Well, there was a 2-door refrigerator there. It belonged to the Coca-Cola company. So, well, fine. Thank you very much, then. Thank you for this. Any other questions, then? All right, let's continue on with item 12, bylaws. Be it resolved that the following bylaws be adopted. 12.1, 2016-12, renewal of agreement with Leduc Bus Lines for wrote 530 and 535. 12.2, 2016-19, to authorize the signature of an agreement with Michelny Construction for the renovation of the front entrance of the Rockland City Hall. And 12.3, 2016-23, amendment to the agreement with Product Care Association. Seconded by Councillor Simoneau. Any questions or comments in regards to this? All those in favor? Carried then. Thank you. So, fine then. Be it resolved, the City of Town Council of the City of Clarence and Rockland adopt bylaw 2016-24 being confirmatory, -16 should I say, being confirmatory bylaw for all dealings with regards to the regular meeting of Town Council held on March 21st, 2016. Seconded by Councillor Simard. All those in favor? Carried. Adjournment called at 7:36 p.m. Or 39, I'm sorry. Well, we're right on time then. Thank you.